How you doing, everybody? Randy Richard in the shop. This is gonna be a little shop update, and maybe a couple other things, but pretty much a shop update. So the forms are complete. Everything's ready for inspection. Inspector's coming in a couple hours. He should be here to check out how the forms are, as long as they're to plans and what they specified, what we specified, and stuff like that. So all the steel's in, and you can kind of see how that is down in here. All the steel for the pad, which will be here, adding onto this concrete pad, and all along the front, of course, a footing all along here, and down this other side, of course, over here. So what we're having to do is build a footing to support the footings to support the building, and here we're going to do a stem walls. Also, we have to bring the footing up to this pad here. Now, the pad that I probably could have dug underneath, and probably would have been a little more hassle. This pad is not straight at all. It really curves out. It must have really bowed when we poured the form, not realizing that maybe in the future I would do this. If I had thought 30 years ago, a little earlier, I would have probably changed up this, but you can't see into the future. So we're going to end up with a little bit of, so over there in the corner of the building, we'll end up with a little offset, a few inches, about 4 or so, 5 inches, which is no big deal. Anyway, so what we're going to do this way, we're going to pour it, the footings and the stem walls first. Then in this section here, where you can see it blocked off, and over here, this is 10 feet wide. This is going to be the door. I'm going to put a roll-up door here and have an apron coming out. Now the first pour is, like I said, is going to be the footings and the stem walls. The second pour, we're going to pour the pad, okay, and we're going to pour this apron. Now this big gap here between the form and the fill here, it saves me about 2 yards of concrete, but it makes the pour simpler by pouring the footing and the stem wall in one pour, and then we'll pour the pad in the second pour. And I'll backfill this and compact this in here. This is all compacted, and we'll just backfill that, compact it, and we'll pour that pad and the apron over here, and maybe a small pad on the side over there. We'll see how it all comes out here. So this is good. Going to get formed up after we do the first pour, of course. So that's where we stand. I have the pour scheduled for, now this is Friday, the 8th, May 8th, and so next Wednesday on the 13th, I have concrete set up for the first pour. And we're going to pump it. We're going to pump it in. It's just because we have a lot more control with the pump, and we can go at our own pace a little bit. You don't have to be so rushed about it. The second pour, we're probably just going to use the chute on the truck. We won't need to really pump it. It'd be easily controllable. Otherwise, not much else going on. I'm the only one working. I'm doing all this by myself. I've had my wife help, just once or twice to hold something, but this is all by myself. That's why it's going to take a little time to do everything. I do have some other stuff I have to get done. I have an irrigation issue with the garden and the trees. I have to redo the valving. We had some problems there, so I'm going to redo the piping on that and raise the valves above ground and stuff. But other than that, let's see. I have the lumber. I have lumber and supplies. I have a tarp on it, but I have lumber and supplies here ready to go. Once we can start building on the walls. Order trusses really soon here, maybe because they're going to be trusses will be 2 to 3 weeks out before we get them after we order them. So next week, I'll probably order the trusses next week. Up here, this is the roof that extends over. We have to cut this off, this 2-foot eave off this gable end. So we're going to cut that off, and a gable truss is good. We're just going to attach it right to the end of the wall up here. And then we're going to have an overhang. The roof for the new addition will overhang the existing shop. I'm not going to say old shop, but the existing shop, about 16 inches. I'm just going to go 16 inches overhang, because the roof on the addition is going to be 2 feet higher. So I passed inspection on Friday. Perfect, flying colors there, not a single problem, all good. So we're ready to pour. I have everything scheduled for Wednesday. We'll do our first pour. My scaffold set up yesterday, and I have to get going on stripping this wall. So, of course, the lights have to come off. We'll get those off first. The vent, I'm just going to hang on, and before I remove that vent, that keeps my building weather tight for a little bit more until we have to take that off. That's where I'm at today. We'll see how far I get, and I'll show you some of that torn off. All the trim stuff was stapled on originally, and it's coming off pretty easy. I'm going to try to save as much as possible. I might be able to use it, or we're going to try to make the building look the same. Now, it's aged 30-something years, so built in '86 again. So we'll see what we can do. Cat's paw, extremely useful tool, and rough framing, rough carpentry in general. Framing hammer. I love this hammer. I don't think they even make these anymore. This is a Ruger, a titanium 14 ounce. The best framing hammer I've ever had. And it has a nice little magnet up here. You can lay a nail in, get one started. It's a stiletto. I've been using this for, I don't know, really long time. Same with the original handle even. Love this hammer. All right, I got all the face nailing out, and this is just staying up here, right? This is a 2x6 fur, and this is called a barge rafter. Anyway, why did I pull all the nails out? Now it's also nailed down with a sheeting, half-inch sheeting on the top here. That's what's holding it up. I'm just going to go along and pry it off. But I want to save these boards. They're nice and long. They're 18 feet long, and that's recycled lumber. I won't use it in the shop here building, but good corral boards. So I'm going to save them, and we'll use them in our horse corrals. All the form lumber I used was all recycled lumber. A lot of it was from a deck my neighbor Jim tore apart, replaced, and some of them were old form boards and things like that. All recycled lumber. No new lumber is being used there. All right, the bar drafter's off, and this is the under soffit siding right here. And we had outriggers coming out from back in the roof, and a few filler ones in here just for nailing purposes. Like I said, we're going to cut this all the way back here to the wall, so it's flush. But the more I can peel off, then I'm working by myself, so the more I peel off of here, the lighter it is. When I get there to cut this off, it's not such a big crash. It's coming apart actually pretty easy. Alright, that all came down easy. You can see the siding still over there on that side. And here, this whole thing just about came down in all one piece. See? Actually, it came down pretty easily. So it was just stapled up actually. And the staples come out a lot easier than some of these nails, especially these galvanized nails. Alright, so that's ready. This side's ready to get cut off actually. I need to remove part of the gutter down here on the end. Alright, we're all stripped. Both sides, all down. Gutters are off on the ends. Corners are all stripped of trim. We're ready to cut all this off. So first what I'm going to do is mark it up on the roof. I'm going to measure from the ends of these, I probably have to do it here from the end of the plywood, and how far over the wall is. I'm going to put some marks so I can get a line that's parallel with the wall. Alright, I got a couple yellow marks there and one at the ridge line. I'm going to chalk this out. Now this line, when I cut this, it doesn't have to be super accurate. It just has to be back from the edge of the wall. So either on the edge or back within a ½ inch. This is one of the outriggers. We're hanging on by a thread there, and so I'm going to just kind of go in there with the sawzall a little bit and get that last little bit kind of to release. Yeah, this worked out beautiful. It's just there or just back maybe a ¼ of an inch. That's perfect. That's perfect. All right, now that was straight cut. That came out absolutely perfect. We'll be able to go up both sides. I still have the tails down there to cut off, but that is awesome. All right, that's the outside out here, all cut off. Right there, that's what it looks like, clean, very clean. All right, you guys, hey, thank you for watching. Thank you everyone and all my supporters for helping this build, buying my tools. I really appreciate it. Plus, I've had a few tool donations. Thank you to James Long at Boring Research for sending me a box of tools to help do this. So, thank you. Just thank you again, and we'll catch you in the next one.